Hello, welcome to this video. I'm going to be doing a ranking of my favorite 2024 albums. Don't take these rankings too seriously. I'm just having fun. And this will be all improv, no scripted. I just have the list just to look off of. Alright, let's start. Number 26, I got Beyonce's Cowboy Carter. Now I'm a big Renaissance fan, so seeing Act 2 was pretty exciting. It's interesting she tried this more country style direction. It's a bit long for my taste, but I like the execution of the album and like how it tells a story. Number 25 got Remy Wolf's Big Ideas. I really like Remy Wolf. She's a very fun, exciting new pop artist, and I like her styles on how she combines like pop, indie, like jazz, funk. She just feels like a fresh face in pop in general. And I like the hits like Cinderella and Toro, but I think the whole album itself, um, it wasn't the most like cohesive as I like expected, but it was still just a pretty fun listen. 24, I have Paranoid Sky 100. I'm a really fan of To See Next Big Part of the Dream. I'm blanking out, but his first album. And I think Parano's specialty is that he can really just get you in your feels, and that music can just transcend language. And I think he just really executed that well. Sure, I don't really like it as much as To See the Next Part of the Dream, but I'd still say this was a pretty good addition to his discography. Number 23 is A.G. Cook's Britpop. I think it was a bit more cohesive than 7G because 7G was a lot longer, but it definitely shows what A.G. Cook is made of, and that, just because PC music ended doesn't mean that he ended, and that his music style is still definitely there. And I really respect and like to listen to him as a producer and an artist. I just like uses of electronic, bubblegum bass, its experimentation. It's a pretty cool soundscape within this album. Number 22 is The Thief Next to Jesus by Ka. Rest in peace, Ka. Man, his death really affected me because Orpheus versus the Sirens was one of my favorite albums of all time. He's just a really genius and poetic lyricist, and it's interesting that he explores the theme of Black Americans and Christianity. I think that's like one of the biggest themes of this album, and it's just like interesting. You just have to listen more of like an introspective art piece. You just listen as a whole. You can't really just replay certain tracks off of it. You just listen to it through, and it's just a cool medium that way. But yes, rest in peace, Ka. Number 21 is Meaningful Stone Angel Interview. This is like a Korean indie pop, dream pop album. I recommend if you are into that types of genre, but it's in Korean, and I just really like supporting Korean indie artists. And I've been a fan of Meaningful Stone for a bit now. I really liked her first album, A Call from My Dreams, so I was really looking forward that she was going to drop another album. And this one definitely delivered. I liked how it's a bit of a different sound. For the first album was more like art pop, indie pop-ish esque. This one's more dream pop, a bit of a shoegaze vibes. It's a very varied sound, and it's cool she tries all these different sounds in this album. Like towards the end, I think there's like a freaking electro trance closer, which is funny, but yeah, it's very relaxing, very nice. Go Meaningful Stone. Kim Tutur. 20. Charlie XCX Brat, and it's completely different, but also still Brat. We're going to talk about Brat later. Spoilers, but the Brat remix album is great. The Girl So Confusing Lord remix was my song of the year. It was like my most played song for my Spotify Wrapped. I still love that song, and definitely my favorite track still in there. Still, all the remixes and features I thought were really fun and great additions to the songs, and just like different takes on it. Like, I like how the remixes were like different styled songs rather than just adding a verse. Obviously, like the big hits, like the Billie Eilish ones, were like just adding a verse, but like the others, like it's cool that she just restructures it into this fun new way that's still Brat. Number 19, Megan Thee Stallion, Megan Act 2. Now, I liked Megan, but I thought it was too long and kind of inconsistent. And I think Megan Thee Stallion, she definitely sounds better when she has projects that have a shorter track run, so she has a more of an opportunity to be more consistent. And I think Megan Act 2 delivers that. It's only like 13 tracks long, and most of the tracks are bangers, which I appreciate. And I just liked I just like seeing solidity and consistency for her because Megan Thee Stallion has a lot of potential. She has some great hits. It's just that like her albums haven't been like super solid just because of how long they are at times. And I like that. You know, it's light, it's fun, it's a good addition to this Megan era. Number 18, Clarence Clarity, Vanishing Act 2, Ultimate Reality. Now, I was really surprised that Clarence Clarity dropped an album this year because it has been a long time since Know Now, Think Peace. I'm a big fan of his those two albums and that his main discography. So this was a cool addition. It's a short album, like it's not like, as impactful and substantial as his other two albums, but I think it's a cool addition. It's just, you know, a nice short fun listen. You know, I just appreciate another Clarence album after all this time. It was a grower for me a bit, but you know, I've grown to like all the tracks, which was pretty nice. It's be like experimental, like upbeat pop. That's how I describe it. How I describe it, it's like boy band pop but with experimental production. I'd recommend if you are into something like that. Number 17 is Willow and Pathogen. I was surprised that I got into Willow because I wasn't, she never really interested me. You know, the allegations of her being a Nepo baby, Will and Jada's daughter, but she definitely proved herself and her artistry with this album and her last album, Coping Mechanism. And I like appreciate that she tries a different sound for each album. Like this one's like kind of like an art rock, like experimentalish type style, which is really cool. I like how like abstract it is, and it's definitely a cool sound that she definitely pulls off. Number 16 is Denzel Curry, King of the Mischievous South, Volume 2. I was a enjoyer of his two albums, Tattoo and Melt My Eyes, See the Future. Why did I forget that? I'm sorry, man. I'm just on the spot right now. But yeah, King of the Mischievous South Volume 2 is a pretty fun edition. I mean, it's short, it's light, but it just gets by. You could just jam out to it. All the features are pretty fun, and you know, sure it's not as like substantial or as critically like heavy dense as is those main two albums, but I like this. Number 15 is Saint Vincent Allborn Screaming. I haven't listened to Saint Vincent in a while because I remembered I had a phase where I'd listened to her discography, but I just went on a hiatus lately. But I guess this got me back into her. It's a great addition, like art rock, experimental rock, all that type of shit. That's like my style type of thing. Cover is cool, you know, She's in Flames. Yeah, I just like it. And I remembered there was some discourse about Sweetest Fruit because it was about Sophie, and yeah, the lyrics, they aren't in the best taste, but I like the execution of the song, as honest as we would be. And I like the hits, like the well, not really hits because like this album isn't really that mainstream, but Flea, you know, Broken Man, yeah, Broken Man, that one's pretty good too. Like, oh, I should not have done this video improvised. I am on the spot here, okay? Number 14 is Caliuchis Orquídeas. Uh, excuse my Spanish pronunciation. I think Caliuchis, she has a pretty consistent discography so far. This is a pretty great addition. Just some nice R&B pop bangers, Latin pop. I like the big hit, the Peso Pluma song. I like how she also has the song Temata. It's like kind of like a dramatic Spanish ballad. Yeah, but yeah, I like the album. Sorry, I don't have much to say. I like Caliuchis. Great addition. Number 13 is Violet Pony Monarch Monsters. Now, it's a prog rock metalish type album, which is definitely an interesting sound. Violet Pony, what I like about her is that she tries a different sound for each album, and this definitely delivers. Like, I think this is my probably my third favorite out of her discography compared to Fish Whisper and Cutie Marks. Like, Monarch of Monsters, you're in for a ride when you listen to it. Sure, it's like pretty long. It's like probably like almost an hour and a half, but it's like worth it because bro, that's the journey it takes you on is crazy, and like the lyrical themes are so crazy. It's like I think I heard it's like themes about like an abusive relationship, if I'm telling right, but yeah, it's really dark. It takes you there. It's really immersive. I definitely recommend. Number 12, we got Tyler the Creator, Chromacopia. Now, I'm not the most into Tyler the Creator, I'll be honest, but I think this was this was cool to listen to. It's probably got me back into Tyler a bit. I wish I could have seen his tour, but tickets are expensive, and I think it's got some great hits. You know, Sticky's a banger, like everyone's saying. I've been hearing it everywhere, and was it? I like Darling Eye. That song's pretty cute. These lyrics, it definitely feels like Tyler, but he also is like just fun, expresses himself. I like that. Number 11, Billie Eilish, Hit Me Hard and Soft. I like, I definitely really like this album because I'm not that into Billie Eilish, but this album I think got me into her. To be honest, I wasn't that into her first two albums, but I just think this one hit different. Like, she definitely has a clear artistic vision of what this album was. I like how she like combines some types of ballads and pop and like into this album where it has this like dark but soft theme. Like the cover definitely fits the sound. But yeah, this is pretty cool. You know the hits, Birds of a Feather. That one's pretty big. L'amour de vie. Excuse my French. Lunch. Yeah, yeah. I like. Now we're in our top 10. Oh boy, my top 10. Hope hope it's all right. Number 10, we got Flow, Access All Areas. I got into Flow pretty recently, and I'd say they're just a really fun, promising new R&B group. Because, like, R&B groups are kind of dead nowadays, and it's cool that they're bringing that back, you know, with the Destiny's Child type of vibe. And I really like their EP, The Lead, that had, it was really consistent there, just showing, like, their introduction. But now they have, like, an official type of introduction with this album, and it's great. I think it's just banger after banger. Uh, does not have much weaknesses for me, and I just had listened to it a couple times when it came out, and I'm just really proud of them and see how far they go from here. I'm now a Flow fan since like listening to that EP, you know? Yeah, I really like this album. Okay, now this pick, number 9, I think this is a funny pick, but just hear me out, okay? Cupcake Dauntless Manifesto. Bro, I got so excited when I heard that Cupcake was dropping an album, and man, is it fire, okay? Sure, people might think Cupcake is like this like explicit rapper, but like her lyricism and her flow is genius, okay? Like people need to start taking Cupcake more seriously. Like she proved herself in this album. Like I think one of the biggest flaws of Cupcake albums is that the production was kind of weak. I mean, she definitely has hits and she has the flow, but I think this album has the best production that like really shines with her flow and her lyrics here. And you know, she covers other themes outside of sexual explicitness that are also great too. So please, Cupcake's actually fire. Definitely one of my favorite hip hop albums this year. Just hear me out, okay? Cupcake's fire. I don't care, okay? All right. Enough. Number 8. Ali X, Girl with No Face. I like how it's a different take on 80s revival because there has been an 80s revival trend in music lately with like disco and house music, but this one's more like a goth, dark synth pop type of vibe, which I think is really refreshing. It if you like into like goth synth pop type sound, recommend this for you. I think it filled with bangers. I love the song Galena. I think that was one of my top songs this year, and that was a non-single. And what was it? Black Eye, Off with Her Tits. Those are some great hits. That rhymed, but yeah, I think Ally X really proved herself with her artistry here. I wasn't that into her beforehand, but man, this album, I think it's pretty great. Number 7, Porter Robinson, Smile. I like Porter Robinson since Nurture. I actually got to see him live for the Smile tour, and man, it was amazing. He has a great stage presence, so it just hits different when I listen to the album again, because I just think about how I saw it live, and it was just an amazing experience. I think that definitely upped the album for me personally. So, but yeah, I like the themes about the relationship between an artist and their fans. I think that's one of the big central themes of this album. And Cheerleader, definitely one of the biggest songs here. Knock Yourself Out, I like. Perfect Pinterest Garden, great hits. Mona Lisa, yeah. I just love this album, and just getting to see it live was just such an experience that I wish you would be able to see. It was great. Number 6, Joey Valence and Bray, No Hands. Been into them since Punk Tactics, and this is a great addition. I think this is more solid, cohesive than Punk Tactics. Really shows what they stand for and what they are. I just love the bright colors of the cover to like really settle their like 90s aesthetic vibe, and I think yeah, they're very fun, very cool. Baddest is definitely hit. I love the Aisha remix too. I think that was probably one of my top played. I just think it's also really just consistent with their flows, what they're trying to set, and their clear intentions of like wanting to put a banger after banger. It's pretty clear here. Yeah. Number 5, it's a pretty sudden but a very well deserved addition. Kendrick Lamar GNX, the way he surprised dropping an album, and he delivered. Bro, I don't think I need to elaborate on how good this album is. I mean, come on, it's Kendrick, dissing Drake, him like just getting back into the main career spotlight. It's just been great to witness and see. I will admit I've been a Drake hater since day one, so Kendrick forever. He is amazing. I have no complaints of this album. I mean, come on, like Squabble Up, TV Off, those are typical bangers. I also love the SZA features. And man, I wish I could see Kendrick and SZA on tour, but 300 for Nosebleeds is ridiculous. Sorry, man, you guys aren't for the people. But yeah, I love this album. It's really nice. Okay, now we're getting to the top 4. And 4, 3, and 2 are 9s. And my 1 is my album of the year, which is a 10. So number 4 is Igloo Ghost, Title Memory EXO. I really love the cover. Definitely fits the sound of the album. It's like a electronic type album, obviously. And I like how cohesive and how Igloo Ghost delivers what the sound is trying to be. I've listened to this a couple of times, and I think it's just really solid as an album. And it's introduced me to what Igloo Ghost is and stands for, because this was the first album I listened to of his. And I think I just really like this album. I listened to his second album, I think, and I wasn't that into it, but yeah, this one just really made me really just stood out to me. I loved it. Okay, number 3, I feel like this is going to be another hear me out and a very surprising pick that I rated it this high, is Yeats 2093. Okay. Even I didn't expect myself to like this album, because this was how I first got into Yeats. And I've actually tried to listen to his other albums, but this just made me solidify that I'm just mainly a 2093 fan. But I think he just really delivered and proved himself here, trying this experimental production. I love the cover. It's like a sci-fi vibe. I definitely, sci-fi experimental, that definitely just draws me. And the green, I love green. And the cover definitely fits the sound. I really like it. Yeah. And I think it's just a lot of hits after hits. I just go back to the individual songs a lot. Breathe, I love. If We Being Real, I mean, those are such big hits, but good for him, pretty well deserved. Yeah, that might be my controversial ranking, but I really like that album. Here are my top two. I think these should be obvious by now. Number two is Magdalena Bay, Imaginal Disc. It's very acclaimed. I think Magdalena Bay are just a very likable band, and I'm just gonna question what's wrong with you if you don't like them. They're just a really fun pop band. I think they're pretty accessible. They're not the most experimental, but the way they deliver their sounds, it's just really fun, but also very like impactful. I also like it's a different sound too from Mercurial World. I think I prefer Mercurial World, but I still love Imaginal Disc. It's just a great addition and follow up, and just makes me excited to what Magdalena Bay is and what they have in store. And number one, my album of the year. I feel like this is obvious. Charlie XCX Brat. I've been a fan of Charlie XCX since How I'm Feeling Now, so I can say that I'm not on the Brat bandwagon, but seeing Charlie XCX into this mainstream, and how much she's blown up, how Brat has blown up, is just crazy to witness, and I'm proud of her. I mean, sure, it's some parts of the Brat like marketing and era has gone like overplayed and like annoying, but the music itself has just been great. I think it's just hit after hit. She really cleared herself here, and what her name and what she stands for is. It's just pure Charlie. It's just great. So yeah, those are my favorite albums of the years. I hope my rankings aren't that controversial and that it's just for fun. I just like all these albums. Yeah.